Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Jade Apollo. I'm the owner of Choices Books and Gift Store. It's a store dedicated to health, wellness, and the recovery community for over 30 years.
Mm.
I'm the host of this podcast. You always have choices, where we dive deep into stories of transformation, healing, and growth. All righty. So today, whom we have back again, and I'm very happy to introduce Kim Stanwood Terranova. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Kim. She is a spiritual teacher, speaker, and author of The Technology of Intention. With over 25 years of experience guiding individuals through transformation, Kim teaches that intention is not just a mindset, but a powerful tool for consciously creating your life. Her works blends spirituality, personal growth, and practical tools to help people move from the unconscious patterns into aligned, purposeful living.
Hmm.
I know that's something I need to do for myself. So there we have it. All right. So, Kim, hi.
Hi,
As
Jay.
people who watch our podcast know, you've been on before,
I'm
which is
so
terrific.
honored to be back here. It thrilled me to no end to get your invitation. I'm thrilled.
It
Thank you.
is, it is, it is my pleasure too, because I learned so much when you're here as well. So I'm
Thank
going
you.
to jump into some questions if that's cool with you,
Perfect.
and
I'm
we'll go
ready.
from there. Excellent. So last time we spoke, you introduced intention as a technology.
Mm.
Someone who heard that but hasn't applied it, what's the simplest way to start?
It is so important for each of us to remember that in this full world of technology, the joy that brings us, the ability for you and I to meet on this platform, we have great appreciation for the technology of the outside world that blesses our world. Yet, often we forget that we came equipped with the technology within our soul the second we were born.
Ah,
And that technology within our soul is connecting us to source, God, spirit, whatever you want to name it, at every moment with every breath. So we have access to the most powerful technology within us, more powerful than anything on the planet.
yeah,
Yet we take on this human life and then suddenly go into forgetfulness of like, oh, it's right here. So
yeah,
the technology of an intention is it's not a reminder, it's truth principles that we have something within us that gets to be activated. And when we start fine tuning that activation,
yes,
we become masterful co-creators. So that manifestation is just a byproduct of being
right.
conscious, you know?
Perfect. Perfect. A great explanation. All right. What do you see people misunderstanding most about intention after even first learning about it? Where do they get wrong?
Good question. I would say what they most misunderstand is that it is so powerful in the possibility of activating it. Lots of people think, oh, well, my intention is just, sometimes people say this, Jay, right? When you say this, like, oh, Kim, like that's like, what do they say when it's not, what's the term? That's like light spiritual stuff, but it really doesn't apply in my business or in this problem of
Yeah,
divorce or in this problem of health. So the misinterpretation or misinformation is that we have underused the power that is at our fingertips. So that we sometimes people can think, well, it's great out there in the spiritual world, but not here in my business or in
right,
these day-to-day activities. Where I
right.
will look at people and say, there's nothing farther from the truth.
Yeah,
That when you begin to apply the power of intention in your business, in your relationships, in your health, everything shifts.
yeah,
And it takes a moment for people to catch that. I've had business men and women come to me and say, oh yeah, that's great, but you can't do that. There's a bottom line, a dollar I have to make in this company. And when we start really getting under, what would that look like? What would that feel like? Let's start bringing intentions and acknowledgments and spiritual practices into that business. All of a sudden I get calls back of, my business just doubled and tripled. What's going on?
yeah.
Because it's still a power. It's
It
not
is
something that's just
absolutely.
in the spiritual. We're living a spiritual life. So there is no separation unless we create the separation.
Yes, yes. I
So
love it, Kim. Love it. How do people recognize when they're creating unconsciously versus intentionally?
when someone says to me, this pattern keeps happening in my life, I don't like it. I don't know why I want this, but I keep creating this.
Okay.
Well, there's a place right there to look at what beliefs are being, activated in your life that you are creating unconsciously what you don't want.
Mm,
So often, if we could look at our life and there's something that feels stuck, feels stagnant, feels that we can't bust through it, we get to be gentle, not judgmental, gentle to inquire, is there some belief that has been blocking me from my intentions to be activated? Because intentions are an act of faith. We set them, we live them, we let go and trust source to move through us. So if
absolutely.
there's any place that there's a block, or if someone sees that they're using language or something that doesn't feel good, if their vibration doesn't feel good, if they're moving around, just go, I don't feel right. I'm mad. I'm resentful. Well, right there, you're still creating.
Yes. Yes.
So we must pay attention to how we feel, to what we see, to catch what am I thinking?
Yep.
Because when we pay attention to all that, we can see if we're consciously creating or unconsciously creating.
Yes.
If we hear the words out of our mouth, like say someone's having a lunch with someone and they suddenly say, oh, that's great for that person, that'll never work for me. Right there is a sign like, whoa, I just created unconsciously.
Yeah.
But we have to be able to observe ourselves gently. Part of the reason I love the name of your store so much and the name of this podcast is the power of choice comes from being aware. We can't choose if we're unaware. We can't choose consciously, right? We could choose unconsciously unaware, and then we keep creating things we don't want. But your choices, we always have choice. We have a powerful choice when we're consciously aware.
Yes.
And that awareness comes from observation. Let me observe my life without judgment. And if I could see there's a place I'm stuck or blocked, I get to gently say, what am I creating there unconsciously? Because I want to get really conscious to co-create what I desire, not what I don't.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
see how we can't bring judgment into it because that just keeps us stuck.
Yeah, no, and when I think back, there are times in my life where I have sabotaged the things that, the things I want to do, create, and be, but I have, unconsciously sabotaged them until I learn the difference.
Right. And
So
and
always,
many of us do, but if we've got to watch and be
very
curious.
always, I think it's constant. It's an always
Absolutely.
process.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do people fall back into the old habits even after setting intentions and having some success with it? Why do they fall back?
They forget.
Yeah.
They forget and slip into the patterns that they've known. So I'll say to people, you've been living on this pattern, you've created a groove of your patterns and your beliefs. And whether they're yours or not, could be your parents, could be family members, but you've created a groove in your life energetically. So responses happen, your thinking goes here. And when you begin to shift and begin to see, oh, wait, if I think differently, if I apply some spiritual tools over here, I'm going to have a different, response, right? Then we do that for a while and we're starting to see the effects of it and we're enjoy it. Then something could happen in our lives, a trauma, a challenge. And what happens first? We slip back into the old pattern unless we built the muscle. Think of it like athletes. Athletes know this. You'll slip back when things get hard because all of a sudden somebody leaves the planet, somebody hurts us, and our attention goes there versus I'm going to give attention to it, but I'm not giving up my practice.
Right.
So we have to know that the new groove, until it's well defined, the automatic patterning of a human existence will slip back.
So absolutely.
Until we create the new groove. And so that more gently we can go, I just slip back, get back into my practice.
Yeah.
And then we could get back faster. The new groove over time becomes the solid groove. It's what I call we're stabilizing insights. We all catch insights. Unless we choose to stabilize them, they'll just go right by and we'll think that was a great idea, but I didn't put it to use. We've got to constantly stabilize. Oh, I know this. So it's hard right now, but I'm going to choose to live this. when it's hard so I don't slip
Yeah,
into
yeah.
my old
You
patterns.
know, it reminds me of, it's because I'm somewhat of an athlete. I'm in the gym all the time. I've run a lot of marathons, triathlons, things like that.
What's an athlete? I run marathons and triathlons. What do you mean somewhat of an athlete? You're an athlete.
What it reminds me of muscle memory, and there's so many things that I have to, like, I was in Aruba for a couple of for 2.5 weeks, and even that short period of time, when I came back to the gym and tried to lift the same amount of weight, it was difficult. I couldn't do it. And I have so many things, like I wake up every single day and I pray, meditate, and I do some readings, and it's such a practice that
Yes.
it comes, naturally. But as you say, I could simply fall back if I'm not in my environment or doing something differently. It could be really, really,
Well, Jay,
different.
you just hit on something really beautiful, is that you went away to Aruba, right? And if you didn't bring your practice with you, it
Right.
can get challenging when we come back. I had a session with a client today, and she said I could share this because I loved it. She went away. She's committed. She committed this year to 365 days. She's not missing her spiritual practice. Now, she's been a client of mine for years, and she would still practice, but then days would come and she'd forget. She said,
Well,
this year I'm going for 365. So she's gone. And I say to her, so how'd that work? You're in a hotel room with family members. Were you still able to do your practice? She said, I went into the bathroom before anyone woke up and still did all my daily readings, wrote my intentions. She still got it done. Now, there's a perfect example where many of us can let go and go, oh, I won't do it today. It can take 10.
easily. That happens easily.
Yeah. So just to answer your question, we could easily see how we fall off unless we're more committed to our freedom than our patterns.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have
And
to.
how much of a priority do you make it? I know when I do the things that I just discussed with you, my
Mhm,
life is so much better.
mhm.
When I fall back into the old habits and don't do those things, I can see it in the way I feel, the way I act, the
Yes.
person I become again. So the whole intention thing is so important.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this. How do you stay consistent when life gets overwhelming? We
That's
just
what we're talking about.
did that, so we can even move past. Just stay consistent. It's the best thing.
But if we're
All right.
vision, but Jay, if our vision is life is overwhelming, I still want freedom and peace.
Yeah.
So we bring the practice to the overwhelm. Most people forget that.
Yeah.
In my book, there's a chapter, and it's the chapter of when I was in the thick of it. And the only reason I shared this very intimate details of my life, that there was some times when my children, there's 5-week time that my children were in there being rushed to the hospital every weekend by odd accidents,
Oh,
motorcycle accident, another accident for Lila where she fell through a glass window, like odd things.
whoa.
And what happened was that in the midst of tears of firemen on the phone saying that we've got your daughter, she's on the way to the hospital, I knew to bring the practice to the trauma. So tears are falling, and I'm running around the house saying, okay, grab this, grab this. Okay, God, support her right now. Be with her right now. I'm accepting that that driver knows exactly where they're going. I'm still crying. Getting in the car, trying to figure out, how do I get to, what hospital am I going to? Praying the whole way. So
See, and
we got to
that
bring it
that
to it.
when you're in that kind of trauma, that's when you can let it go. That's when you can
Yes.
forget. It falls secondary. But I'm like you. I'll pray every minute of every day, especially when things are good or when things are tough.
Yes.
I
Because
just keep
what
praying.
happens to us if we walk into that hospital room and fear is present anyway,
Oh
but
yeah.
it would be leading if the prayer wasn't.
Yeah.
And so then we react from the fear of what if versus the prayerful place of, I know what's going on, but I'm going to bring my consciousness to make conscious decisions instead of letting fearful reactions take over.
Yeah. I
So
would say that takes few years to really get that,
I've
really
been
going. It
practicing this
doesn't
for
happen overnight.
my whole life. I'm
Me
not giving up now.
too. Me too.
Yes.
Me too. How does intention change conflict in a relationship?
Oof, I love this question. Intention can change everything in a relationship, especially when there's any elements of conflict. When couples are with me, and we're having a couples session, I will ask them, before we begin, we will not begin a session without what's your intention and what's your intention. We do not even start. Because what if someone said, well, my intention is to be right. I want her to hear what she did was wrong. Or did it? Then that's like, no, that's not an intention. That's an expectation. Let's start again. I'm not starting the session till you give me your intention. Well, what if really the person wanted to be heard, wanted it to be safe, to speak the truth? That may take a minute to get that out of the person. But when I say, okay, great. So can you say your intention is this, this, and this? And they'll say, yes. Then what's your intention? Well, now I've got two individuals. I don't have to be in the room. They could be at their house. If you don't want to, if there's a conflict moment and a couple sits down and says, we're not starting this conversation until I tell you my intention and you tell me yours. People have to know how to activate intention.
Love it. Love it.
And then say someone says, my intention is to be heard and to hear you. They could still be upset, right? But they've then propelled into the universe. This is what I'm about versus coming into the meeting with, you better hear me, or you better to change, do it the way I want you to do it. We will never get anywhere that way. Conflict will continue.
Yeah.
If there's a right and a wrong, if there's an opportunity, I want to heal. Our intention is to heal. Our intention is to listen. Our intention is to find a solution that honors both of us. In there, you can resolve. It could be our intention is to keep talking until we get through this.
Yeah.
It keeps us connected. It keeps us authentic, and it keeps us high in integrity. Because when you set your intention from that moment onward in a moment of conflict, your actions are to follow the intention you set. So you're much less likely to attack if you said, my intention is to hear you and to create safety for you to hear me.
And I'm sure you're there to remind them when you're in a session like that of, hey, listen, let's go back to your intention when you
Absolutely.
you can get away from that a little bit. Sure.
Can I tell you a quick story about that?
I love that. I love it.
So years ago, I was asked by a client. He was in the middle of a divorce, and they were stuck, and they'd been working on it for months. And he said, "Would you come to our next mediation?" And I said, "You got to check with your lawyers about that and see if they." So they suddenly said yes. I don't know what he told them who I was. So I go into I get to the law firm in Beverly Hills, huge law firm. I meet him out front, and I would not go into the building until I said, "What's your intention today?" And he told me his intention. And I said, "Okay, here's my intention for you today, or my intention for me." Then we prayed. So intention was set, prayers. Then we walked into the building. We get in the building, we walk into the room. It's two solid sides, one side of the table, one team, one side. Yep. It was clear separation.
Yeah.
I sit down and I'm just blessing everybody and holding space. And the lawyer at the end, this table was massive. So many people were on it. She crosses her arms and she goes, "So Kim, why don't you start?" Right there, I'm like, well, game on. This is going to be really interesting. Right?
They were probably as curious about you, as like, what the hell is she going to say? What is she here for?
Guess what I did, Jay? I know that I didn't close my eyes. Very often I'll close my eyes when I'm setting an intention. So I may right now, but that day I didn't, because I thought I don't want to freak them out. But I said some version of this. It was some version of, can we agree today that our intention is to stay connected, listen to each other authentically, openly, to create safety for these two individuals to find resolution solutions so that as they part this marriage, they can part so with grace and ease and honoring both parties. Can we agree to that?
And do we get a yes?
And every single person at that table said, yeah, we can do that. Now, I'm pointing to what you just said a moment ago. Then everyone from that moment onward is conversing from that agreement of that intent. I didn't force anyone. It was an offering. Right. But do you see how it kept everyone out of expectation?
Yeah.
One time.
Were they able to keep that going throughout the whole?
One time in 3 hours. And this mediation was complete, signed, delivered, hugged up in 3 hours. One time in those 3 hours, somebody got heated. And all I did, the only time I said anything, I said, "Excuse me, can we please just remember the intention we set?"
Yeah.
And then the energy came back.
Yeah.
So in other words, the intention can frame it, then we follow it, because without it, we're completely reacting in expectation.
Absolutely.
And when people understand that without an intention, you are walking into a room and you will begin to react from that moment onward to whatever is given to you.
Yes,
So
yes.
you're off.
You're helping me here right now. I'm just thinking about some things in my life right now, and how I wish I could do them so much better. And I need to practice the intention. I need to go there saying, okay, I'm going to be peaceful here. I'm going to play kind. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. I'm going to see what I can bring to the situation rather than take it away. I
Okay,
love
Jay, you have full permission. When you need an intention, just text me. Kim, I need an
it.
intention.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, what's the difference between forcing outcomes and allowing a co-creation? That's sort of
Mhm.
go ahead.
So forcing outcomes is us individually thinking we've got control over this situation and we want an outcome that is defined.
Right.
Intentions are always an opening that we set the intention and let go. And from that, so that's the reason we do that is for one to co-create. So we're listening to spirit, because when we can remember that spirit, the universe has so many bigger solutions than we've seen. See, we're unconsciously, Jay, I think this is so trippy. We are unconsciously, as humans, limiting ourselves if we want a forced outcome.
Yeah.
Because what we're doing is creating, I just want that. I just want that. What if spirit wants you to have this?
Yes, yes.
You only ask for that. So we're the forced outcome means what it says, we're forcing everywhere because we think I've got to create it versus we, source
Yeah.
and I, are sourcing this. And the second we let go, there's so much more that comes rushing in the door. And that is the muscle that is the scariest for people to build when they're living a life of intention.
Yeah, yeah. Just a quick story, and I do agree with that. The strongest part of this for me is
Mhm.
actually letting go. I mean, letting
Yes.
go and figure. So one time I didn't need it, but I had financial insecurity. Everything was fine, but for some reason I had it. And I
Mhm.
spoke with a friend, sort of a spiritual advisor like you, and he says, you know what, give some of your money away and don't even think about it.
Tithe
And
it.
I
Yeah.
did that. I started tidying, and it was so funny. The fear left. When I let go, I let go. All this money came back to me. People I
Yeah.
had lent money, things that I'd done so not, and it was amazing how it all came back. It was so much better than what, and because I let go, I let go. I
Yes.
believed in, a power greater than myself, which is God. It's just the way.
Yes. And that practice of let go is huge,
Yeah.
of
Because it's
necessity.
hard. It's hard to really let go because we always want to be in control. We
Right.
always do, but we're not.
And we think we've got the best solution because
Yeah.
it's scary to say, well, I don't know what the solution is, but spirit, we've built a society on I know the answer to this. Nothing's wrong with that. But when we could allow ourselves to go, I know as much as I know right now, and spirit knows even more. So
Mm.
I'm going to activate what I know, but always keep this listening ear open for spirit to say, go left, go right. Did you see that? Like to really listen. We have to master listening.
Yeah. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Mhm.
Without a doubt. All right. For someone stuck financially, emotionally, or spiritually, how would you guide them?
Mm. Oh, when we're stuck, we must be gentle. Like we must be gentle with ourselves so that we don't allow judgment to keep us stuck. Judgment keeps us stuck.
Okay.
Gentleness keeps the door open because if we're gentle and allow ourselves to get curious, what am I feeling stuck about? What's really happening? What's underneath this? Is this my belief that I'm stuck financially, or is it my parents' belief? Is it we must get curious. So
Yeah.
do you see, under gentleness, we can get curious to listen to spirit and then bring our practice up so we can unstick ourselves, if that's a way to say it, remove the stuckness. But, and if we have judgment, we stay there longer because I can't believe I don't know. Look where I'm stuck. I can't believe this. I'm back here again. That will keep us there versus, okay, I'm going to ask, and this is when I ask people to do this practice, ask more empowering questions than the questions that keep you stuck. If we ask a question like, why did this happen to me? Why did they do that to me? Those questions keep you stuck. So the practice of asking empowering questions. What am I to learn here? What's being revealed here for me? What's the most loving thing I could do for myself right now to move through this?
Yeah.
Sometimes that means crying, releasing, not to go around it, but to
Right.
move through it
Yeah.
so that we could understand what must be released and let go so that we could be free again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it takes patience, gentleness,
Yeah.
curiosity, but not avoidance. To when we're
Don't live in the problem. Move
yeah,
out of that and start to
right,
find solutions. Yeah.
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 And the
Fantastic.
stiffness will move when we're gentle. It won't move when we have judgment.
When we have judgment, it won't move.
Well,
Yeah.
we lock it in. Look how
Yeah. We
bad
love. Yeah.
look how bad that person is. We're just locking in more judgment
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
okay, I may not feel good. I'm super sad. I'm confused, and I'm going to ask questions to move through it.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Excellent. Excellent.
Mhm.
What's the biggest pattern you see that holds people back?
Ah, a lack of practice.
What we just went
Right?
over and over and over again. And I wonder sometimes, are they not in enough pain that they're not willing to practice? Because I was in enough pain to
Yeah.
practice.
Yes to that at times, and yet the other one is what we've touched on, Jay, is it's we as a society we get to shift our attention to embrace practices, not think if I have time. When we shift, I have a quote in my book that says, "You practice your practice until your life is your practice."
Yes. I
when
love
we when we begin to shift to think it's not an option, again, like an athlete, like so many other people who stick to the program and you just show up, right? Because that's your practice.
that. Right.
So when we begin to see, what if we wake up later than we thought, and oh, there goes that hour for me to meditate and read. So you may only have 5 minutes, or you may shift it that while you're in the shower, you're setting your intentions then. You may be in a doctor's office or waiting 10 minutes for your meeting to start, and instead of worrying, you close your eyes in the waiting room and practice there. So it's just assisting everyone to realize there's always time to practice.
Yeah. It's so funny because while you're saying this, I can relate it to it all. Waking up too late or waking up and having to deal with a situation right away and not getting to, and then figuring out how, when, what am I going to do? But, you'll get there. You'll get
And it
there.
takes,
I love
we
it.
get to shift it. It could take seconds.
Yeah.
The car could be warming up in the cold weather. And in those seconds, if we closed our eyes and just went, I'm grateful to be alive. I acknowledge myself that I'm doing the best I can today. And my intention today is to move with ease. You just did
Yeah.
3 practices right there.
Right. Right. 3
So it's
intentions.
really shifting our awareness to what is a practice and where can I bring them into my regular life always.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Kim, thank you. I love it. All right. How does gratitude and intention work together daily?
The more it's my wonderful teacher always says, Michael Bernard Beckwith, like wherever your attention is, more energy flows, right? So when our attention is on appreciation, then more things come into our life to be grateful for. So
Yes.
if we are just moving through our day with, I'm so grateful that I feel good today. I'm so grateful that it's sunny. I'm so grateful to see you today. Any place that we're on gratitude, more energy, more things start showing up to be grateful for. Versus if we were on, oh, I'm late, it's cold outside, all those things just keep us in lack again. So gratitude builds the field, like fertilizes the soil for
Right.
our intentions to take root. Because when we're grateful, and then we know, okay, I'm so grateful that I have an opportunity, I have 5 minutes to meditate. I'm so grateful for that. And then my intention today. So right there, you're priming the pump for priming the pump. I got to say that right. For your intention to be clear, because you're coming from a field of appreciation versus lack.
Yeah.
So then your intention is going to have buoyancy to it. It's going to have the languaging that honors where you're at that day, but what you wish to create that day. So
I think you can't have one without the other almost.
yeah,
It comes back.
they definitely go hand in hand. And they're just think of them like supporting each other and fertilizing the soil for more to be revealed.
Very cool. Very cool. If someone practiced intention for 30 days, would we see change? Would they see it then or?
their whole life
What
would
would they
change.
say? No?
Yes.
Yes, that's
That's
what I
an
thought.
absolute yes. Now, I want to be clear about something. Their intentions are to be in alignment with all that they desire. So sometimes people could set an intention, they could think there's intention, but it's filled with limitation in it. So if somebody comes to me and says, Kim, my intention is to not eat unhealthy food because I'm going to lose 20 pounds. They could think that's an intention. It's not. Did you see how many times they had not in the midst of it?
Yeah, yeah.
So
We'll go a little bit more into that.
yes. So in other words, when our intentions and are built around those three frameworks I have in the book, they're in the present moment. They're always positive language. They're always based in qualities. You follow that framework
Right.
in business, in relationship, in health, so that you can wake up with an intention. My intention today is to make choices that honor my body as I am toned and strong and clear as I move through this world. There you go. You keep repeating that. Universe is matching you. You're making choices. My intention is to call forth unlimited financial wealth now and forevermore. The universe responds versus my intention is to not have any tightness in my bank account. Well, you just talked about tightness in your bank account. So do you see the difference? The intentions must be clear, succinct intentions in alignment with what you desire. And there is no way that the universe would not respond and that your life wouldn't change. It's an automatic things, but they're going to change in ways that you never imagined.
I agree. I agree. And it's usually, they change for the better, not the worse.
Always.
They change always for the better. Just
Always.
fantastic. Fantastic. So, I just got to say, every time we get together, it's amazing. And like I say, I appreciate it so much because I learned so much. And I know our watchers will appreciate you so much. So just stay close with this. And with that, we will wrap up this episode of Choices Podcast. I hope our time together was inspiring and motivating, and stay empowered and stay well. I just want you to go over real quickly how people can get in touch with you, that can work with you. And do you have the book with you that maybe we can hold it up?
There we go.
Yeah, my beautiful.
Technology of intention. There you go.
There you go, folks. That's what you do. That's what you get involved with. And where can we get it besides? I know I have it in my store. Where else can we get it?
You could get it on Amazon. You could get it, the audio version. You hear me talking the whole book. I also have quite a few wonderful programs to help, because lots of times people come to me and say, how can I live these practices? So I have a master tools program that people from all over the world, we meet twice a month for 1 hour each time. So it's tight. And I go over a tool each time. I go over the tool of intention, go over the tool of gratitude, go over the tool so that anyone could go on my website, Kim
That's
Stanwood.
what I was saying. Yeah, give the website. Kim what?
Full name, KimStanwoodTerranova.com. And you could see on there about the Master Tools program. Then you could sign up right online. You could see I'm also going to be the guest speaker at the Rhythmia Life Advancement Center at the end of April. So, and I'm in the midst of bringing out a couple more books. So there's lots of ways to reach me.
And if it's all right with you, I will love to cover each and every book that you.
I would be thrilled. Good. Then we'll be back again soon.
Yes, I hope so. So you can watch this episode and all episodes on our website, choicesgifts.com. I hope you enjoyed this. May God bless you and look after you always. And
so
thank you.